I think when we started the game, we were very shaky. As of defensive wise, I think when we went out with the formation that we had, with the kind of very weird two strikers, two centre backs, and goalkeeper, I think that's how we conceded the 2 goals.
Yeah.
And I think for us to start the game like that, obviously we probably shouldn't have started the game like that. And with that formation that we played, obviously you guys were all over us. So I think,
Yeah.
I think it was a bit shaky in the first half. Yeah.
What do you think changed in the second half?
I think this is not said Blaze. I actually changed the tactics myself. I changed the formation. Hence why when we went with the 3-1-1, we ended up winning. So I mean, with the tactical changes that we had, I think we played pretty well. We were all over fourth quarter in the second half, which is what I kind of expected with a tactic of my sort. But yeah, no, I think it went well.
So Portugal's obviously they were pretty good in the first half. Second half, what do you think happened?
I think that the eagerness of the players kind of got to them a little bit. So when we were 2-0 down, I saw in the chat someone was like shushing and celebrating and that. But I think that's not what you want to when you're 2-0, only 2-0 up, because football's football. Football's a game where things happen like that. And I think that with the high standards of eagerness in the team, was, yes, they did go 3-0 up, and that was very frustrating in our end. But then that's when you get those cocky players, and that kind of, I think, drove us forwards to kind of bring the game back level, which we did, and then ended up winning in the last 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah. So obviously scored a hat trick. Can you remember any of those goals? How you took them?
I think my first goal, I can actually get it now. My first goal was pretty. I may have nicked it off someone, off my own teammate, but I think to be in that position where if you looked at the ball and you looked at both the players, it is blatantly obvious that I touched the ball. Let me get. Yeah, so I think it was a good cross. So with my original cross that was towards the front post, it was a shame that no one attacked it. But as we cleared it back to Isaac, our centre back, he was outstanding that game. He managed to hit it to the corner, and the cross back in was really good. And I think the problem with Portugal with that team is that I think they were too open in the middle. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the goal back, when the cross came in, you had 3 players at front post. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Me would pounce on that because there's space in the middle. The second goal was arguably probably the best one I scored. It was a very, very good finish. This is not glazed before anyone fucking says that. Sorry, I got to keep professional. Yeah, no, I think the second goal, the cross was good again, and I think the fact that the lead into the goal, when the ball came back to Isaac, the centre back, and the Portugal players stood still, and they lost like an eyesight from where the ball was, that maybe caused them that goal. I'm just trying to see the goal here. I think I've gone too far. No, I haven't. Yeah, so they rushed the ball too much, and as the ball came back into the middle again, it came off the bar, and yet again Portugal were open again. So I pounced on that, and
fair enough.
The third goal was, it was a good cross. I think it was my cross actually that he finished. I'm trying to find it. I think the flick on was good by me, and like the finish at the back post. Yeah, so the flick on by me. Well, I think it was me. It depends on reach. And the finish was good. I generally thought he was going to miss because of the finishing I had seen prior to those 3 goals. And the last goal, the actual hat-trick goal, was, I would say, very bad defending on Porthcraw's point of view. I think it should have been cleared before. When you're playing an experienced striker like myself, you don't want to be bouncing the ball inside the box. And especially when it came in and you go to Thunder, hits it towards his own goal, and obviously with the reaction of myself to hit the ball forward, or actually no, I hit the ball into him. It came off his foot, came off my foot, and went in. So, I mean, that's just a very decent finish, into the far corner, which is what you would want with, when you're 3-0 down. That's what you require. You require your striker to, or your big number 9 to come up with stuff, and well, I did.
Yeah. So obviously there was a few complaints about Theo, your goalkeeper. How do you think he played?
I thought he was. I mean, Theo. Now, I generally do think he's underaged, and
I can agree with you on that.
I'm only saying that because how many times I saw "Help, let me interview" in the chat that game, and I think that put me off a little bit.
It's so annoying.
I mean, I think he was poor, and especially transition from attack to defense. Isaac was on it, and don't get me wrong, Isaac was really good.
Yeah, I know.
I think your third goal, he mistimed his jump. It went over him, or he jumped before the ball was even kicked. Now that shows you, and then it just went over him. But I think some of the goals that we conceded, they were good finishes, except from the third one. The third one was ass, but they were good finishes. But I still expect my keeper to kind of save them. And I also think that he was going a bit too high up on the attacking transition. He was ahead of the centre-back, but that's stuff you can change,
Yeah. I reckon that sums up the interview.
Well, thank you for giving me your time.
It's all right, Morgan. Thank you for your time.
Guys, you get me as a pundit on here.
I feel.
Get me as an actual pundit.
Why is Alpha complaining about a 10-minute interview?
No, that was probably one of the best interviews you've ever heard. I'm very good at interviews.
Yeah, probably. You carried it out, mate.
Like, that's what you want. You asked me about all my goals. I have to go and find them again.
What, did you clip them all?
No, I had to go back to YouTube and look through these streams.
Oh.
That's why it took me so long, but